defense. He had a great run on first down. He locks his hands on that football. It's like a vice grip.
And now it's the kick return team that comes up with a big one. Really solid football, reaching out for the touchdown.
Look at the blocking. Holy smoke. Nobody touches them.
Garbarino makes another man miss and dances into the end zone.
Strap in your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on.
Dakota Cougars.
Week 2 of the MHSAA season, and today it's a MAC crossover matchup between the Utica Chieftains and the Dakota Cougars. Hello again, everybody. I'm Brad Fetters for Chippewa Valley Cable Television, joined by Iroquois Middle School 8th grade head football coach and athletic director Jeff Vitale, coming to you from high atop Dakota High School as we're set to go here this evening. And Jeff, both teams winners in week 1. Utica needed the final play of regulation to squeak past Rochester. Final score of that football game was 27-24, but really the most impressive victory perhaps in all of Michigan last week was Dakota beating up on Brother Rice 21-7.
Yeah, you smell that? It's football in the air. Thank God football's back. I couldn't stand watching the Tigers for much longer. But yeah, the Cougars were extremely impressive last week against Brother Rice. Brother Rice was kind of deemed as one of the best offensive lines in the state, and that front four last week really just manhandled what was a very talented offensive line. I'm sure Utica's worked on some things all week, but it's hard to kind of scheme man on man if the other guy is just kicking your end every play. I'm willing to bet that the Chieftains are going to try maybe some quick screen stuff, some things to get out wide from those front four. But the Cougars defense, game 1, looked state championship ready.
4.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery last week for the Cougars defensively in that 21-7 win over Brother Rice.
Yeah, that's a pretty good start to the season there. Coach Bauer, you had to be pretty excited about that.
The offense wasn't half bad either, with the leadership of Ethan Hamby, the quarterback, throwing for 144 yards, 1 score through the air, and 1 score on the ground. Ball teed up, nearly set to go here.
Well, not to mention, too, the receiver, Owen Copart, had we're going to start calling him Randy Moss, because he had the Randy Moss, you got Moss catch of the night, making that third and final touchdown to seal the game. So this team is talented, and let's see how it's going to go today.
Celestini's got it teed up, kicks one deep, just short of the goal line. So this is returnable for the Chieftains. Jaden Rogers up across the 25, and that's where Utica will put the ball in play. This was a Chieftains team, Jeff, last season that finished with a 5-4 regular season record. They lost in the first round of the state playoffs to Romeo 49-7, but this is a Utica squad that's making strides. That was their first playoff appearance since 2017.
Yeah, when you haven't been there, I mean, your goal right now is just to get there, and of course you get thrown in with Romeo week 1, but this is a program who is up and coming. And watching them warm up, their skill players are very big. So this team has some talent, and the Cougars are going to need to be on point tonight.
Jack Malone, the quarterback for the Chieftains, left last week's game late with an injury, and right on cue, that Cougar defense comes away with another takeaway, and it's a touchdown for the Cougars.
No flags, and now let's make it 2 touchdowns as pick 6 opening play. That was 21. Jacob Leha. It took us a minute to find it. Dakota's roster is 3 pages long. I do appreciate, though, the 16 font. That's very nice. Thank you very much. Just turned 50 this year. Need the 16 font.
Nice and easy to see. And that touchdown was nice to see for a lot of the Cougar faithful. They had to pack the stands here tonight. They announced the entire roster prior to the start of today's game, along with the cheer team and the dance team. Extra point is up and good.
Yeah, they had parent night opening night, so I guess it's nice to get that out of the way while it's still warm and it's early on in the season.
And 14 seconds into the ball game, it is Dakota 7-0.
And your offense hasn't even touched the field yet. You've had one play on special teams, 1 play on defense, and it's 7-0. Yeah, Leha did a nice job from a safety, but he just sat. He read the quarterback's eyes the whole way, and the kid just hit him right. They took 1 step up, hit him right in the chest, and it was off to the races. And I'll tell you what, you saw this last week too. With this team, when there is a turnover, because you saw it in the Brother Race game too, this defense is very, very good at downfield blocking to pick up as many yards as possible when they flip the field on a turnover. And you saw there was just a wall of blockers to the end zone. Nobody touched them. That's something, I mean, you can teach and work on it, but you still got to do it. And to the credit of the other 10 guys in the defense, very well done.
A lot of athletes on that football field for the Cougars. That might be a little bit of an understatement.
I like my spot up here, Brad. I'm comfortable up here. Don't want to be down there no more.
Well, scheming-wise, it's got to be difficult for Utica just looking across that sideline and who do you throw away from, and
punt.
Well, you think you might be able to air it out. Well, no, you can't. You don't want to take on that front 4 of the Cougars, so it's not a ground and pound game. So you try to air it out, and the result of the first play of the game is a pick 6. Boy, oh boy, buzz in the air for the home opener here at Dakota High School. Another long kick. This one will sail over the goal line, automatic touchback in high school football.
Yeah, nice boot there.
Well, Chieftains knew they were going to have their hands full this evening.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the near sideline, everyone's kind of hopping around and moving, and the far sideline, I mean, I'm not going to make a crack at it, but kind of looks like a funeral over there right now. You definitely talk about the win of taking out of your sails right away, and I think this is the Chieftains need something positive here. Maybe try to spread them out like they kind of did last week, but they need to get a little bit of a drive going just to get some momentum back on their side.
5 wide receiver set. Malone going to take it on the straight keep. Plenty of green in front of him. He'll finally slide down just short of the 40-yard line. 18-yard gain on first down for Malone, the senior signal caller for the Chieftains.
Yeah, and you might be wondering, watching this broadcast at home, is why they marked it so far back. It's where the slide starts. It's not where he ends on the slide. So that's to protect the quarterback so you don't hit him, even though it came dangerously close there to a possible hit, hitting on the slide, so, which is a 15-yarder.
Same look offensively once again. Malone scans, goes to his left, a little crossing route there. Chieftains looking for pass interference. Dwayne Taylor, the intended wide receiver, no call. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, I think, Utica's complaining, and I don't need the referees to, because it happened so fast. That was kind of a bang-bang play, and when things move at that speed, sometimes it's, without the benefit of replay for the officials, you got to make a judgment call there, and incomplete was the ruling.
So we mentioned Jack Malone went down late in that game last week against Rochester. His backup Parazic had to come in and engineer that final drive, which covered 65 yards in the final 50 seconds of regulation for the go-ahead touchdown. It came on the final play of the game. And another straight quarterback keep, and this time he's going to stay on his feet to the 20. Finally puts on the brakes and gets hauled down from behind by Lorenzo Alfred. Wow, some wheels on the young man.
Yeah, the Cougars brought an outside blitz there, and that ended up working out in Utica's favor because they just took it right up the middle, and there's nobody there because everyone else is guarding receivers man-to-man, and he was off to the races there for a big run. So, this is huge for Utica now. You're down in the red zone, 2 plays, you're right down in the red zone ready to go.
So to kind of finish our thoughts on last week's game for Utica, Parazic finding Willie from 30 yards out on a little bit of a Hail Mary play that got tipped on the goal line. Willie went down and was able to snag that football in the end zone for the game winner on the road against Rochester. So back-to-back road games to start the season for Utica. Very first play of the game didn't go their way, but they're engineering quite a little bit of a drive here. Straight handoff up the middle. This time, Jaden Rogers goes nowhere.
Yeah, he ran right into number 44 there for the Cougars, Austin Chowski. Coleman was also in the stop, and Anthony Coleman be on the D-line. You won't hear his name a lot. He's one of the captains, but he is a load to block. He might be the strongest human being on that football field.
Chakowski mentioned his name, finished last week with 5 tackles and a sack. So this defense for the Cougars really got after it. Score was a little bit closer than it seemed. I think Dakota really dominated the first half of that football game and could have been up a lot more than that slight margin at the halftime break. Malone going to fire one deep in the back of the end zone. Was looking that time for Tommy Boyd.
Yeah, I mean that's a good ball there. The only one who can catch that was their receiver. If anyone misses it, it's out of bounds. That's that's kind of one of anything short, and Dakota picks that off. You might be seeing 14-0. I'm impressed though. Consider how bad it started out. For you to come right back down the field, it shows you this team's got some fight in them. And if the Cougars are going to win this game, they're going to really have to kind of stomp that fight right out of them because the Chieftains have just proved no matter what happens, they're not going away. They're staying here to battle the entire ball game.
Last dress rehearsal prior to the start of league play. And we're going to have a timeout called.
I think Dakota's on the road next week against Anchor Bay.
They sure are, yep.
And then Chippewa Valley is home against Eisenhower. So Mac Red, the Red Division gets rolling.
And Eisenhower at Chippewa Valley game will be a game you'll see right here on Chippewa Valley cable television. We pretty much have a game every single week this season, so plenty of opportunities to see the Cougars in Big Reds in action.
And then you got Romeo and the Titans battling it out. And I think Stevens just happy to be off that field last week with West Bloomfield because I watched that game on Bally Sports, and West Bloomfield looked everything that they were billed. They were very, very, very impressive.
The Stevenson Titans, the only MAC Red team last week that lost, as the MAC Red went 5-1 to open up league play. And you and I have talked about it throughout our careers here at Chippewa Valley Cable Television that we think the MAC Red is arguably the best conference in all of Michigan when it comes to boys high school football.
Yeah, without a doubt, top to bottom. I mean, I'd put us, any team can go anywhere and give anyone a battle. So it is a tough conference, and to last out through the season of 5 weeks and hanging in there and win that division is something to be said.
Romeo and Stevenson co-sharing the title last season with 4-1 records in league play. Chippewa Valley and Dakota both went 3-2. Malone doesn't feel the pressure, and he goes down. Quarterback sack.
Number 90,
Jake Kolakowski.
That is called being unevaded to the quarterback, and ouch. I felt that one all the way up here. And that might take him out of field goal range.
Kolakowski's eyes had to get big there. He had to just Smell that sack.
Oh. Yeah, those are the ones you dream about where he's not, he's looking right at him, so to speak, out of his peripheral vision and just never saw him. And he's waiting for that route to get open, and it never came open, and Kolakowski just laid him out.
Chieftains going to go for it here on 4th down. You mentioned it'd be about a 39-yard field goal.
Looks like they got a spy on the quarterback here, too, with that middle linebacker. Well, it might be coming on a blitz here.
And they show blitz, kind of back it off just a bit. Malone looks to his left, floats one right down the middle of the field. Oh, over the head of the intended wide receiver. Incomplete. Was looking for Dwayne Taylor. So it'll be a turnover on downs for the Chieftains.
Yeah, nice job by the Cougar defense. Gave up 2 big runs on quarterback draws, and then the defense stiffened up in the red zone, forced a turnover on downs. And now, about almost 4 minutes in the game, we finally get to see the offense for the first time today.
And senior quarterback Ethan Hamby, and you and I talked in the preseason, it's always a really nice luxury to have a returning quarterback on your roster, and that's what the Cougars have in Ethan Hamby.
Yeah, and the kids they got returning at wide receiver, this team is absolutely loaded, and you're going to see their firepower today. This team can put points up.
Hamby listed at 6'2", 210 pounds. He gets flushed out of the pocket. Nowhere for him to go. He's actually going to go down behind the line of scrimmage, so it'll be a quarterback sack. Julian Kilberg, the Chieftain, in on the tackle.
Yeah, he kind of got up there and kind of taunted the student section. I don't know if that's the route you want to take right now, but he's fired up a little bit, made a nice play on defense. I think Ethan rolled the wrong way. If he had rolled the other way, he might have had a little bit more of a look, but he kind of rolled right into the pressure where Utica was coming. They were able to make the sack for about a 4 or 5 yard loss. And now someone has to come out for something. It looks like it might be an equipment issue or something. But Owen Colpart had to come out of the game for a minute, and he's adjusting his equipment. So we'll see what has to happen before he gets back in the game. Oh, nice cut. Yeah, Joe Sasevic.
On the carry.
A little bit of a two-headed rushing attack. Savic finished last week with 17 carries for 65 yards. Watson was the other runner last week. He had 18 carries for 62 yards, so nearly identical stats for both running backs last week.
Well, it's kind of a pleasure, too, when you get to run behind those big boys because they are wide, they are fast, and when they start blocking you downhill, usually the result is just not very good for you. And, even right there, inside zone play, it looked like Utica had stopped it. They still got 2 yards off of that, so 2-3 yards.
Nick Ochai from his defensive end position making the tackle. 3-yard pickup on a first down, brings up a 2nd down and 7. Hamby fakes the handoff. A little confusion there on the screen pass.
Yeah, that slot receiver didn't get out on the outside guy enough, and when number 80 here, as we flip through the pages here of the roster, DeAndre Lawrence, when he tried to come inside, the DB did a nice job of shoving the blocker right into him and broke that play up. Dakota threw a lot of screens last week on Brother Royce, a lot of screens. They made several mentions of that on the broadcast.
Hamby looking over at this near side, the setting sun directly in his face, so he shields his eyes to get the signal call. 4 wide receivers set, 2 to his right, 2 to his left. Hamby takes the snap, surveys the defense, will scamper instead, gets up to the 35.
He got about a yard.
And no further. Nice stop defensively for Utica.
Yeah, and you can see, when you make stops on 3rd and long and get off the field, you can get your offense a chance to stay in the game. And again, that's kind of a big improvement you see from this Chieftain team. That usually in a half of a game, especially when they're playing a bigger opponent, would give up a lot of points. And you can just see, as they buy into what the coaches are preaching here, the Cougars to go 3 and out here, punt the ball, or not 3 and out, they got a first down, but very short drive here and have to punt. Now they get their offense a chance to get back on the field to make something happen. So
it's a Utica defense that gave up just 23 points per game in a fairly competitive MAC White. Gwilly comes up to receive this punt, and he gets it out to midfield and tackled out of bounds right at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, nice tackle there by Tyler Harper. He did a nice job, though, of catching that on the run. You know, that momentum, he was able to outrun 2 angles there before Harper got him out of bounds. And the Chieftains, great field position right at midfield, Brad.
And came away with a lot of positives on that last drive. They were nearly in the red zone before that offensive drive stalled out. Thanks in large part to the wheels of quarterback Jack Malone.
I like the game plan of the Chieftains early. They come out trying to do some things now, kind of throw that defense off track since they were coming off a big week. And look at this, right off tackle.
Jaden Rogers turning the corner.
Yeah, nice block there. He turned upfield into about a 16-yard run and 17-yard run. And Chieftains are chewing up some yards, something Brother Rice could not do against the Cougars last week.
And you just wonder, perhaps, Dakota coming off a very emotional win in week 1, perhaps looking ahead to next week against Anchor Bay, and you never know.
Well, it's always a possibility. I mean, you know, you're never taught to look ahead, and you know Coach Bauer and the staff, they don't allow that, but still, you come off of beating a Brother Rice and going up against the Utica, but I'm telling you what, the Chieftains got their attention. Oh, nice play there.
Rogers directly into that defensive line.
Rogers on the carry.
Kolakowski once again.
A lot of numbers in there, 90.
Kolakowski, one of the first Cougars in. Utica's really had their struggles, Jeff. We talked about last year, their first playoff appearance since 2017. In between those 2 playoff appearances, they went 1-8 in 2018, 3-6 in 19, and 2-3 in the COVID-shortened 2020 season.
Yeah, no, and then now for beyond the men coming off of 5-4, you got to be excited. No, there's sack.
Right up the middle. Bo Wheeler. Utica, a mainstay in the MAC white.
You know, in a division that sees usually Grosse Pointe South and Anchor Bay fluctuate, they've been pretty competitive in there.
Yeah,
I know Anchor Bay owned it the last couple of years. Before that, Grosse Pointe South dominated it.
Yep, so those 2 teams flip-flop this year. Anchor Bay makes the move up to the MAC red this season. South goes back down to the white.
And I'm telling you, watch out for Anchor Bay. I saw those 8th grade teams last year, and I know they had a decent freshman and JV team. Like, they got some talent coming up. Coach Giannone wanted to be in the red division. They're going to make some noise.
Warren Mott and Lance Cruz North make the move down from the white to the blue, and gang tackle there on the screen pass.
Yeah, Alan Browning with a nice open field tackle there. Real nice open field tackle.
Rogers, just really no room to operate after catching that screen pass.
One thing Coach Bauer's always like to do is bring some pressure on 3rd and long so your quarterback doesn't sit back and pick your defense apart. So he had to think quick and get rid of it, and that played right into Dakota's hands with it being a 3rd and 25. So they got a few yards back, but still got a long way to go here. And on a 4th and looks like to be about 15?
Yep.
With this defense, you know, your chances of converting are not very high. Not saying they can't, but that's a very low percentage conversion down that kind of a distance.
The line to gain is the 23. They'll scrimmage from the 38, and it looks like the Chieftains will punt this football away. High snap, they bring it down, they get the kick away barely. And it's gonna be a tough punt to field, and
luckily it went out of bounds.
Garbarino let it bounce.
They kind of went to catch it, and the player ran into him, and it kind of hit off both of them and rolled out of bounds. So it was kind of he was looking for interference. What didn't get any. That was a strange punt return there.
So they'll mark it down on the right hash at the 15-yard line. 2:47 now left to go in the first quarter of play. Dakota scoring on the very first play of the game, a pick 6.
Now, see what kind of adjustments here the offense made as they come out here and trying to put 2 scores up on the board.
Number 4, Joe Kosavic
That's Sasevic.
on the carry.
Nice gain there. Looked to be about 5.
Brought down by number
Yep, up to the
79,
20.
Nathan Silver, and number 24, Michael Borhora.
So Kosavic getting the majority of the work at the tailback position on these 2 opening drives here for Dakota.
Second down and 5.
Beautiful weather here for week 2
Oh,
football.
absolutely, picture perfect. Not a cloud in the sky. Nice temperature, not too hot, not too cold. Kosavic again going to explore the right-hand side, bounces it back towards the middle of the field, picks up the first down.
Uh-oh. That's a late hit.
And we do have a flag come in, and this is going to be an easy call, personal foul.
Yeah, the referee didn't even hesitate on that too. So he'll get the first down because it was after the play, and then it's going to come back.
Yep, so it will be a dead ball foul. So the result of the play was a first down, so it will remain first down. They'll just move them back 15 yards.
Personal foul against the Cougars.
Or not. It looks like it's still second down. So they said that happened during the play. It looked like it was well after the play. So, but we aren't wearing stripes.
We got the easier of the 2 jobs.
For sure.
I'll take this over the brunt and abuse.
Oh,
Some
he's
of the
wide
refs
open.
Receive, and he sure is. That's Quest Williams. Look out. They're finally going to catch him from behind.
Has a nice little RPO. He released right down the middle there, and he was wide open as he hit him right in the chest and off to the races.
One of the easier catches one of the easier throws, rather, that Ethan Hamby's going to have this season.
Quest was trying to move those 220-pound legs, and a couple of the speedsters at Utica caught up to him, but he was pumping to that end zone. He just didn't quite get there. Caught him at the 34. He was wide open.
Quest Williams, one of the captains for this year's Cougar team. Fortunate to interview him in our preseason show, and if you want to catch that, so we interviewed the captains and coaches at both Chippewa Valley and Dakota.
Sasevic inside the 10.
Number 4, Joe Kosavic on the
By the way, on the last play too, nice ball by Ethan Hamby. I mean, he put that right on the money.
Nathan Silver,
And now the Cougars are knocking on the door here after they start at the 15-yard line. It looks like they're going to be down here at the 6, first and goal.
Best way to watch all of our programming on YouTube. Make sure you search Chippewa Valley Sports. Catch up on that preseason program as well as all of our fall sporting events. Subscribe to the channel, Jeff. That's the best way to do it. Then you get email notification when things are available to you.
Exactly, I have.
A lot of fun putting together that preseason preview show.
That was nice. Thank you for the shout out on those last 5 seconds. If you hung around, you got to hear my name one time.
I did that just to make sure you were paying attention.
And then I watched it all the way through.
Exactly. Kosavic, easy.
That's 44.
That's 44. You are right. They brought in a fullback.
Austin Schowski.
A little change of pace there.
Quick hitter right in the middle, a little trap play, and walks right in the end zone on that big offensive line, clearing the path. And now we'll see the the second extra point tonight.
So Lestini looking to add it on.
Yeah, he put that first one through pretty easy. He's got a big leg.
He was 1 of 1 on PATs last week, 2 of 2 on field goals, a couple chip shot field goals last week.
Owen Mitchell, the holder.
Snap is good, kick is good as well with 24 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. It's the Cougars 14, the Chieftains nothing.
Tchaikovsky scores a touchdown, immediately gets down and snaps the extra point for the conversion. So, jack of all trades.
That touchdown really set up by that screen pass to Quest Williams.
Yeah, and Joe Sasevic on some nice runs, really shifty back. So just when you think you close him in, he makes a cut on you. You really got to run at his outside shoulder and make him cut back to the heart of your defense. He's getting outside, and he's just right now carving up the Chieftain offense. And or defense. And right now the Chieftain offense really needs to make something happen here, as they are starting to get in that danger zone of Dakota starting to get some momentum, and Utica kind of starting to sputter a little bit. The last 2 drives, facing some long distances where they've had to either go for it or punt it away. And the Chieftains need to really kind of stop the bleeding a little bit.
Hard to believe, but this is only the 10th head-to-head matchup between Utica and Dakota. Dakota has the edge in the all-time series 6-3. Last Utica win was in 2000. The last time these two teams played was back in 2005. It was a Dakota 35-7 victory. Dakota has actually won the last 5 meetings between the two teams.
And that was the 2005, as they were building toward that state championship team, getting the gears going. And
yeah, with all the time that Utica spent in the MAC White, you would have thought Dakota and Utica would have hooked up quite a few more times, but no, just 9 occasions.
Considering they're just on, basically just different distances of 21-mile road too. They played Lance Cruz North more.
Yes, they have. Yeah.
Nice coverage there by the kick team. Couple guys in the tackle. Jacob Leha, also TJ Carr, my man TJ.
4 high schools in the Utica School District. And in terms of maybe the football pecking order, you would probably put Utica either 3 or 4, would you not?
Yeah, I would have to say Ford being 4. They've kind of, even the past couple years when they had better teams, they just kind of underperformed. And obviously, Stevenson Eisenhower, you can make a case for 1 and 2 on both of them just because the wars they've had, and take all the way back to the 80s and 90s, just the legendary battles of 20,000 people at those games, and the tradition, and
Yeah, coached by at Stevenson. He got his team down to Ford Field.
And then you got our district, who's got 2 and on 2 state powerhouses. So that's a pretty nice to be able to boast. And we've said this before. I've said this on old broadcasts. Like, can you imagine if this was one team in this district? I mean,
it'd be unstoppable.
I mean, your 3rd string would be most team starters. It'd be insane. I mean, it would be a college team. I mean, it's the only way to put it. I mean, you think of all the starters that Dakota has and the guys that back up. Same thing at Chippewa. I mean, and you combine that, forget it. I mean, who's going to play with you?
Well, you have 2 of the top 10 largest schools in the state of Michigan, Dakota being the largest. I believe Chippewa Valley is right around 6th in terms of student population. So a lot of factors working in your favor there. And like we mentioned, Utica schools having 4 high schools, you're kind of depleting perhaps some of the talent.
And Eisenhower's in that top 6. They're pretty big, as well as Rockford and a couple other schools out west. They have some facilities out west.
Yes, they do.
The east side doesn't get to see very much. So.
Yep, Muskegon's always very good. East Grand Rapids had some good teams.
East Kentwood, more so in track now than football, but they had a run for a while in football. Hudsonville. I mean, you got some teams out there. Oh man. Well,
that was Jaden Rogers upended after a gain of 2, and the Chieftains will just look to put this first quarter to bed. Buzzer will sound with the Cougars in front, 14-0. We'll take a quick break here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television, but when we come back, it'll be the start of the second quarter of play.
These are some facts about youth alcohol use. While the good news is that underage drinking has declined over the years, rates of youth alcohol use are still high. 30% of 12th graders in the United States reported drinking in the past month. Alcohol use by teens frequently involves binge drinking. Regular alcohol use can damage the developing teen brain, creating problems with learning, memory, and processing information. Youth alcohol use is associated with other negative consequences, including poor school performance, injury and death from car crashes, suicide, mental health issues, and use of other drugs. The majority of those diagnosed with an alcohol use disorder in adulthood began drinking by the age of 18.
Welcome back to Dakota High School. Brad Fetters alongside Jeff Vitale. Chieftains with the football, trailing 14-0. Dakota scoring a defensive touchdown via a pick six. They also had a long sustained touchdown drive that resulted in 7 points. Touchdown coming via the legs of Austin Chakowski. Chieftains hand off. Jaden Rogers once again upended after getting over the 25 up to the 26-yard line.
It has not been easy going for Utica running backs. They have been hit, except for that one big nice off tackle run by the running back and a couple quarterback draws. They've just been pounded a few times, but they've tried to go between the tackles.
Majority of Utica's offense has come via those two quarterback draw plays.
Here's one thing we're going to have to watch too, Brad, as the game goes on, is there are a lot of Utica Chieftains that go both ways.
Yes.
There are not a lot of Dakota Cougars who go both ways. So as the game goes on and those guys tire, how is that going to wear on them, and is that going to just kind of turn Dakota loose?
Well, Utica did get some gainers on some of those scripted plays, and you just worry if you're a Chieftain fan, once you have to kind of start opening up the playbook just a bit, trailing in this football game, what's going to happen? You throw it out to Willie, finds a little bit of green in front of him, gets it across for first down markers up to the 35-yard line, so they will, in fact, move the chains there on third down.
Yeah, that slot, the outside receiver just took him deep, got him out of the play, and just ran it out right at the sticks there, and just got a score from over across town here, so Chippewa 14, Lance Cruz nothing. Not a shock there. We figured that Chippewa would have an easy time tonight, so both teams kind of in the same boat right now.
And that game actually got moved over to Chippewa Valley. That was supposed to be a road game for the Big Reds, and Lance Cruz didn't have power, so that game will be played at the Valley tonight. A little bit of a perhaps fortunate break to have a home game.
The light wasn't on and nobody was home.
Lance Cruz Lancers. And looking for Willie once again, and he paid the price. He leaned back to try to catch that football one-handed, and he paid the price.
I will tell you this. When you get ready to play this defense, Jacob Leha again, but I'll tell you, this defense is going to punch you right in the face, and if you're not ready for it, people are going to get hurt here because they are laying some serious lumber tonight. I mean, just thumping some kids tonight. I mean, that's probably the fourth or fifth big hit we've seen.
Leha had the pick six on the very opening play from scrimmage. Willie, a name that's becoming synonymous with Chieftain football. His older brother holds the school record in touchdowns in a game with 6 and a season with 20. He finished his career at Utica with over 4,000 yards and 38 touchdowns before taking his talents to Central Michigan University.
That was Anthony Coleman on the sack. Yeah, Rogers tried to just turn and go, and there was nowhere for him to go. I'm sorry, that wasn't Rogers, Malone. And there's just nowhere for him to run. Coleman put those big meat hooks around him, and that was an easy takedown. And again, kind of in the story since that first drive, another 3rd and long for the Chieftains, and that's just not what you want to do when you're up against this defense.
This is that spread look that they have run that quarterback draw on twice already in this ball game, and have had a lot of success via that play. This time, Malone's going to roll out to his right, fires one goalie, little low, and Dakota defense saying incomplete. And I believe they're going to say, in fact, it was incomplete.
Yeah, one quick adjustment they've made after those 2 runs is now they got a spy on the quarterback now. So wherever he goes, he's being spied right by the middle linebacker, Harper, there. And when he got out of the pocket, Harper took off right after him. He had to get rid of it or he was going to get sacked. Had to kind of throw it back across his body and kind of turned into the same old for the Chieftains now. They had a nice drive and it resulted in a turnover on downs and now 2 punts because they're getting into 3rd and long situations, and this is not going to turn nice if the Chieftains can't turn that around.
And getting behind schedule, and this punt might have been partially blocked And we're going to get a roughing the kicker call.
That's a pretty good acting job by 33. He's just laying there on the ground like he's dead, and then all of a sudden Drew Fromm, I don't know if that's in relation to Jake from State Farm Fromm, but he laid there for a few minutes, and once he heard the flag hit the ground, he popped right back up, like almost like a kip-up. I think they're calling it only a 5-yarder, though. They're not calling it a 15. Coach wants a 15. He's only getting 5.
Well, more than likely he's going to repunt this, right?
He's so mad over there. He's not getting a 5. He's taking the 5. I probably would too, just because he shanked it off his foot there. Dakota's going to get pretty good field position.
Man,
this is kind of a part of the field where you've seen fakes. I don't know if they're that crazy enough to fake it this early in the game, 14-0, but you never know. I mean, Utica's kind of playing with house money right now. I mean, you've never seen it. There are some coaches right now who, it don't look like a fake, but
it's 4th and 6. Fromm fields it cleanly this time, gets away a terrific kick. It's going to drive Garbarino back, makes the first man miss across the 35, and another flag comes in.
Owen Mitchell just destroyed somebody on that block, and that was a good hit, but the second one I think is going to cost the Cougars 10.
Garbarino up to the 39-yard line. Officials going to talk this one over.
Nice job of retreating there and fielding that punt on the fly like he did. That was unbelievable hand-eye coordination. Blocking the back, which is usually what happens on punt teams. Especially at this level, it's so hard. I mean, you even go to the younger levels, you know, sometimes you're better off once you catch the punt, just everyone take a knee and don't do nothing. Get what you can, kid, you're on your own.
That's not what you teach at Iroquois, is it?
No, we just take the penalties.
So Dakota's third offensive possession of the game.
We'll be here against Seneca on November 1st at 6 o'clock.
Under the lights.
The annual game. Oh, nice cut. I really like how Kasevic runs the ball.
Number 4, Joe Kasevic on the carry.
Kasevic, sorry.
Kasevic listed at 5'10", 170 pounds. He's a little jitterbug in that backfield.
Yeah, from here the 170 looks like with his pads on.
For the Cougars.
But that's okay.
Play action fake,
Nice
and
tackle.
Chieftains absolutely blew that play up. Good open field tackle by Isaiah McCary.
Hamby's pass complete to number 26.
He kind of strung out his receiver there, and McCary was already on the fly up there, and it was kind of an easy tackle.
But there was a loss on the play.
Little swing pass there. Nicely done, nicely read by the Utica defense.
3rd down and 7, 8:52 left to go, first half of play.
I'll tell you what, you think of the competition they play in the white. This is an athletic secondary. If they can get some really good line play, they can really cause havoc.
Look out.
Oh, look at Hamby.
Avoiding the
Almost.
sack, and now he's going to scramble for his life, and he's going to be close to the first down marker, and he got it. Up to the 40. Good athletic play by Hamby, as that play was absolutely blown up by Utica.
And his helmet came off, so he's got to put a quarterback in. Jack Naprikowski is going to have to come in and take a snap here. I'm going to bet this is going to be a handoff, Brad. I'm going to go out on a limb.
Just straight dive right up the middle.
Right. I'm sure you just said, give it, give it, give it. If you're at Utica's defense right now, you're reading 4.
And it will, in fact, be a handoff.
Kasevic is just so shifty.
Number 4, Joe Kasevic on the carry.
Up to the 45, pick up a 5 and allow Ethan Hamby back into the ball game.
Yep. Nice job, Jack. Sometimes it's tough coming in cold like that. You know, the other guys have been out there for a little while, have gotten them warmed up a little bit. You got to come in there, a little bit of nerves, but did a nice job there. Dakota got a nice 5-yard run on first down.
I'm just proud that he was able to find his football helmet and get out there as quickly as he was. When you're sitting behind a senior quarterback, I'm sure at times it's easy to get lost and kind of start daydreaming.
Uh-oh, here comes a freight train. Jerome Bettis.
And that's Quest Williams.
Number 26, Quest Williams on the carry.
You just don't want to tackle him. I mean, it's just not fun. 6'1", 220 pounds.
Number 7, Nick Jokai
going full speed. It's like trying to tackle like a Volvo. I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah?
He's built like a Volvo. I mean, I got to see him down the field. He is a very large human being. Very wide at the shoulders. Big, might be one of the biggest legs I've ever seen on a high school football player.
Quest Williams going to remain in the game as kind of a blocking back. Savick
Look at the drive, too, on the
straight
offensive
ahead
line.
once again. And his legs churning. Down to the 39-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 5, 6:45 remaining in the second
Bryce
quarter.
Ward, Bo Wheeler there, driving some guys down the field off the football. Those are I love watching that. I love seeing offensive linemen just drive people down the field and make them look silly.
And we'll get a timeout called from the Chieftains sideline. And
Yeah, good timeout. Regroup a little bit because they're starting to get manhandled up front a little bit. The offense starting to start to find the groove. You got to kind of slow them down a little bit.
now, Jeff, this is the 100th non-conference game in Dakota school history. Their all-time record in non-conference games, 81-18. This excludes postseason play, but 81-18 all-time in the regular season in non-conference games, a winning percentage of 82%.
That's pretty good.
It is very good.
And it kind of, again, it shows you just how good this conference is when you go on to play. And they're not scheduling the Little Sisters of the Poor in their non-conference games. I mean, how many times have you seen them open up against Brother Rice, Muskegon, Catholic
Rockford,
Central? I mean, Rockford. Yeah, they had a home and home with Rockford. And you know, they did a home and home with Rockford and Muskegon. They traveled to the west side of the state. Like, I mean, they're not playing, you know, patty cakes. You know, and this is a playoff team from last year in game 2 after coming off of Brother Rice week 1. And to beat 81-18, possibly 82-18 after tonight is extremely impressive.
Jakowski going to remain in the game. They're going to go with the jet sweep. Garbarino trying to get some athletes in space. Going to be about a yard short of the first down markers.
The push from that offensive line, though, and you just kind of follow and just ride that wave for as long as you can. They're just so big and strong, and everyone, especially from the defensive line, just kind of caught in the wash. And we got a player down here. I don't like the way he's laying there. I'm hoping he's going to be all right.
Had athletic trainer for Utica tending to him.
He moved all his limbs. That's good. All right, she's helping him up. All right.
Number 73
He's
for the
a big
Chieftains.
boy, too. He's a big dude.
Sale
Churko. He got kind of probably caught in the wash there. Probably got bent back in a very uncomfortable fashion when you just get kind of caught in the wave like that.
So they'll say Dakota gained the first down, and
Sideline warning on Utica. How do you get a sideline warning on a timeout?
I don't know.
Learn something new every day.
Utica just got a sideline warning.
So the first one's just a warning. Next one will result in a penalty.
Okay.
Trips to Hamby's right. It's going to be a handoff.
Chachowski.
Yep, Chakowski.
44, also Tukowski on the carry.
Just run that running back carousel, and all those guys just say, let's go downhill. And they go downhill, and behind that offensive line, it's very easy to go downhill. 4, 5, 10, 6. I mean, they're just chunking yards.
Shkevic back into the game now at the running back position. Looks for the
look
edge.
out.
Needs one block. He's going to get it. He's got the edge.
Oh.
Pays the price. Big tackle
yeah.
now. A late flag comes in.
Yeah, he's popped up, but he's going to get had the distance from the goal line on that.
Dwayne Taylor
That was a helmet-to-helmet shot right there.
with the tackle.
Ball carried by number 4, Joe Cassette. Knocked out of bounds by number 6, Dwayne Taylor.
Helmet to helmet is the call. Half the distance to the goal. So the Cougars knocking on the door once again.
I mean, it's a 3.5-yard penalty, but he gets another one of those.
He's
He's
out of the
ejected.
game.
Yeah, he's
Yep.
ejected. That's the more significant part of that. And obviously, that's a pretty integral piece of your defense. You don't need to lose. So now he's going to have to play a little different than what he's used to.
Chukowski, the lone setback. Hamby in the shotgun. We'll look back at.
I don't know, Brad. Is it me or is there nobody up the middle in white? He's going to throw it anyway.
He's going to go with the fade. He's got a man out there. Complete into the hands of Alan Browning for the touchdown.
That is a pretty ball by Ethan Hamby. I absolutely feel it. One step, let it fly. Let your big man go get it. 20-0 Dakota.
It's a long throw to pick up 3 yards, but a perfectly thrown football.
Yeah, that was like a 30-yard pass for a 3.5-yard gain for the end zone.
A little rainbow into the back corner, and the extra point will be added on here by Celestini.
One thing I saw a lot on Twitter this summer was Ethan Hamby throwing. So that right there, that's a product of the work that he's put in over the summer. He's put in a lot of work.
Celestini's kick is good. Made score 21-0 in favor of the Cougars.
And I think right now, if you're Utica, I think you're in Plan B. Might be in Plan F by the time this game's over with. Who knows?
Well, preparing for a team like Dakota has to be a head coach's nightmare. They're coming off a really impressive victory in week 1 over Rochester on the road, having to come into a hostile territory and take on one of the favorites, you could say, for the MAC Red title. And
watching the film of them the previous week just beat up Brother Rice.
Yeah,
Couldn't
one
have
of
been
the-
very fun to watch either.
one of the perennial contenders in the state of Michigan for state titles is Brother Rice. Talked about at Chippewa Valley. I know a lot of the Cougar fans don't want to hear it, but Chippewa Valley beating Catholic Central in week 1 on the road was something like the first time Catholic Central's lost at home in over 1,000 days.
Yeah, I was listening to the stream. They said 1,084 days. Their last loss was at home was September 6th of 2019.
Unbelievable.
And that's absolutely insane considering the league they play in. So, listen up, people. September 23rd, you better be here because it's going to be a barn burner.
If you're not able to make it down, you'll be able to see all the sights and sounds
Absolutely.
right here on Chippewa Valley cable television.
You hear our two wonderful voices. I don't get much better than that on a Friday night.
A little bit of a muff there on the kickoff. Going back to recover.
What a recovery, though. Look at this.
Open up some room now for Jaden Rogers up to the 34-yard line.
Carried by number 15, Jade Rogers. Brought down by number 33, Skylar Simmons. And number 11,
Well, other games taking place tonight. You're a fan of the MAC Red, and who's not? You got Ford at Eisenhower. You got Roseville at Romeo. The Lakeview Huskies taking on the Stevenson Titans. Anchor Bay squaring off with Grosse Pointe South. That one should be a good ball game. And then, of course, the aforementioned Lance
my
Cruz
assistant coach
at
just
Chippewa
sent me
Valley.
5:41 to go in the half, 28-0 Chippewa Valley. Again, not surprised. Usually, it's Lance Cruz has been kind of a struggle, and kind of a little bit overmatched there. But they were not overmatched in those JV and freshman games, as the Lancers came out with 2 W's against the Big Red freshmen in JV yesterday, where the Cougar freshmen in JV
Beat up on
combined to
Utica.
score 102 points and gave up
None.
0.
Well, I would say that probably a lot of that freshman success here at Dakota is tied in large part to what Iroquois is doing with their 8th grade program.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Coach Drosky doesn't listen. He doesn't know what's going on anyway. Well, hopefully nobody tells him.
2nd down and 5 for the Chieftains. And if you're a Utica fan, you really need some points here as Cleaver takes a handoff, stays on his feet, and gets dragged down finally from behind, losing a couple.
Well, that's big hit number 6 tonight on the hecameter. As you go one way, you get popped, you turn around, ran back the other way, and just got taken down. It has been very physical tonight. And
It's a Dakota defense that we talked about at the very start of this broadcast. Just ball hawking defense, getting after it. They just gave up 16 points per game last year. And I would say this defense this year is probably even better than that defense.
Yeah, they brought back a lot of starters, and they're insane. I said it week one, they looked like a state championship defense week one.
And arguably the more impressive thing from last season was the fact the Romeo Bulldogs only gave up 13 points per game in that ultra-competitive MAC red.
Here's what I love about Coach Bauer. 21-0, you think, just put your feet up, Coach. And, oh, no. No. If something's not going right, Coach Bauer's going to let him hear about it. He didn't like the way they were aligned on defense, called timeout immediately. So just because you're up 21 points doesn't mean the coach has stopped coaching. Coach Bauer, being a very passionate coach as he is, when something's not going right, he's going to let these guys hear about it because, they're about playing to a certain level, and anything below that is not acceptable. And that is why they look so great week one. And these kids are held to a different standard. And if you want to be a state championship program, you gotta do that extra rep in practice. You gotta run that extra sprint. You got to get that extra rep in the weight room. You got to watch that extra 15 minutes of film. You got to do those things if you want to be ahead of your opponent.
Chieftains, spread offense look. Malone on the QB draw, going to run right in to the meat of that defensive line and nowhere to go.
Yeah, they've sniffed out that quarterback draw now. That play has not worked quite well for Utica as it did the first 2 times they ran it.
John Chubb in the middle, 6'2", 230 pounds. In that defensive tackle position.
Here's a little thought process for the Chieftains now. You're 4th and 3. You're down 21 points. There's 3:47 to go. Do you try to go for it here? However, if you don't get it, you give the Dakota offense plenty of time to make this a 28-0 halftime score. But as a coach, you're trying to tell your kids, like, listen, we got to make something happen. We need 3 yards. You call your best play. They've run a nice little quick out. You can run a 3-4 yard quick out. They got it converted on the last drive. Something like that to move the sticks. But I think you're going to see Utica go for it. And then as I say that, the punter walks on the field, so what the heck do I know?
Yep, Drew Fromm going to come out and punt this football away.
The way they line up in their punt formation, like this is literally a middle school punt formation right here. There's really nothing, there's no fake going to happen here. Who are you going to fake it to? That kid's 7 yards back. He'll never make it to the first down marker.
Fromm
kicks it away.
Low line driving kick.
Not to Leha.
Leha's got it on that far side, up across the 35 to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, nice tackle there by number 24, Michael Bahura. And Dakota still a pretty good field position now, just inside the 37-yard line. 3:39 to go. That's plenty of time for the Cougars to get some here. So the Chieftain defense is going to have to stiffen. Down 20-0 at halftime, it's going to be a little rough to come back as they take the long halftime walk to the freshman center over there. That is a long walk, by the way. I've had to walk that a couple times. That is at a football game, that is one of the longest walks to the locker room I've ever seen. There's Colpart. We're waiting to see Owen. Here he goes.
Little crossing route for Colpart.
Randy Moss down the left side of the sideline there.
4 receptions a week ago for 80 yards, and that score, the longest reception of the game, was a 37-yarder.
The catch of the night where he really jumped and reached over the defender and caught it and brought it back. That was the Moss reception we are referring to. He is an absolute talent, and he is one heck of a basketball player also. So
a lot of fun to watch him play hoops. A wide open wide receiver. That's Garbarino. High steps over a defender and out of bounds.
Yeah, Colpart took the secondary deep. They all went with them, and Garbarino just dipped underneath and was wide open, and then picked up a nice chip block as Colpart blocked back and allowed him to get a few more extra yards. And I mean, it's not even 20 seconds, and Dakota's already inside the red zone.
So you kind of go back to maybe rolling the dice, perhaps, if you're the Chieftains in that 4th and short situation, and rather than punting the ball deep and giving Dakota the football right back.
And if you're down 21-0, you know, Dakota's starting to roll, you got to make something happen. You know, if it continues to spike that way, but you got to at least try to battle. And look at this, just drive.
Savick
Look
just
at
lowering
this.
the shoulder.
Oh.
Takes 4 or 5 defenders on his back inside the 5, down to the 2. Pick up a 17. Wow.
That's a manhood block and run right there. I mean, that's just when you push the other team like that, you're just challenging their manhood right there.
Well, now you got to reward them, right, with another carry here on the goal line.
Oh, without a doubt. You just let this offensive line just bull rush everybody backwards and just let them plow into the end zone here.
They bring in Quest Williams, kind of is in that fullback position. He'll probably be the lead blocker on that left-hand side. Hamby takes the snap. They'll go right instead. Sakevich near, and then they're going to say he's just short.
Just short of the goal line. Tackle made by number 7.
So the Cougar freshman team going into week 3, 1-1, had a tough week 1 loss to Brother Rice. The Dakota JV team, 2-0, 2 impressive wins, and have not lost a high school football game yet.
In their careers.
They were 9-0 as freshmen, 2-0, and that group of Iroquois kids has yet to lose a football game from 7th grade on. So the JV off and running.
Savick, they fake to him. Throw comes into the hands
Number 80.
of number 80, DeAndre Lawrence Jr.
Nice ball on the slant. Jacob Hamby is throwing dimes right now. Ethan Hamby. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good for 7 for the Cougars.
When you teach siblings, that happens. If you play for me, you know I'm going to call you by your brother's name at least 17 times in a season. So it's the way it is. Nice ball, Ethan. That was a beautiful pass. And Cougar offense is rolling. The Cougar defense is rolling. 2:23 to go in the half. The Chieftains are in trouble. And just got another text update, 35-0 now, Chippewa Valley. So pretty much that game's in the bag. And as well as here, the game is not going to say in the bag yet because there's another half to go. But the Cougars are off and running and making it look very easy.
So their opening offensive possession resulted in a punt and then 3 straight touchdown drives, and they're all long, sustained drives. They had to go the distance of the field pretty much on all 3 occasions. So this Cougar offense really clicking on all cylinders. This is impressive stuff.
And if you're that Cougar offense, you're wearing down the Utica defense, which then now flips and goes and plays offense. They're exhausted.
Yeah.
And your offensive line is just beating them up, just pounding on them.
Well, there's a reason why this Dakota Cougar team has made 21 straight playoff appearances, made it all the way to the regional championship a season ago, and that district championship that they captured was the first since 2015. That's sort of hard to believe that the Cougars haven't captured more district championships as of late, but just really a loaded district in terms of playoff seedings and what takes place here in Macomb.
Oh, man. I mean, you're talking about those last several years of, one year I remember it was Dakota, Chippewa, Stevenson, and maybe Iker. That's just brutal. I mean, you got 4 teams that could make runs to regionals, and only one team out of that's going to win a district. And those the football around here is just so good that a lot of good teams get bounced early. That just kind of opens up the gates if you're in the right region and kind of get hot.
And it really is a shame that they kind of have to base everything solely on geographic and in terms of district play, because you would sure like to see some of these top Macomb teams perhaps on opposite sides of brackets and the potential to perhaps meet at Ford Field in a state title game.
I remember the one year the Chippewa made it in 2001. Ike was playing in the Division I state championship, and at that point in time, the enrollment had dropped. Chippewa was playing the Division II state championship, and they're from the same conference. And Chippewa had beaten Eisenhower early in the year. They were 0-2 and knocked off Ike and ran the table 12 straight wins for a state championship. So we got a penalty on Utica, so that nice return is negated. And right now, the Chieftains are their own worst enemy right now. The mistakes just shoot themselves in the foot.
Move this football all the way back to the 12-yard line.
And the mistakes aren't shooting him in the foot. It's that front seven for the Cougars. I mean, it has been physical and just not a lot of going right there in the middle after that first series.
At their own 12-yard line.
Yeah. Dakota losing to Stevenson in that regional championship game, 27-20. Head coach Justin Newcomb really had the Titans playing good ball late in the season. They eventually lost to state champion Belleville. And off to Rogers once again. He has shown some flashes in this football game.
And we've seen the talent that Belleville can put out. You know, in 18, when the Big Reds went to the Division I, they met Belleville in the semis, and that team was absolutely massive. And you know, Belleville's been coming along, and you still got your Cass Techs, although they lost quite a wild one last week to Southfield A&T in maybe one of the craziest two-day scenarios you've ever seen, with brawls underneath the stands in the parking lot. The police came and called the game, played the next day with no fans, and Southfield A&T wins in double overtime and knocks off the Technicians. And maybe I think one of the opening day's biggest upsets.
That game was played at Lawrence Tech, and how about that Southfield quarterback, who's now a sophomore, getting interest from the University of Michigan, and perhaps one of the better quarterbacks in the entire state of Michigan. He's only a sophomore.
They get a nice little holding penalty here, so that nice little run by the quarterback is going to come back. Kind of the story of the first half is you can see the coach across the way at Utica just kind of holding his arms up like, how? Like, they just can't get a break right now. Every time something good happens, it looks like it's going to be on Dakota maybe.
They're going to pick it up, actually.
Oh, there's no flag. Okay, so they're going to play counts. No flag.
2:05 left to go in the second quarter. Run was good enough for a first down.
Yeah, nice job of coming back, to seeing the hole and getting there and getting his yards, and did a nice job to run out of bounds and not get flattened. This opening weekend we got the college game starting up, and then the following weekend the NFL. And I know everyone around here is excited for the Lions. Pump the brakes, guys. I know Hard Knocks is fantastic, and I'm loving it too. But this is a 3-win football team. Just pump the brakes. Don't talk playoffs. Don't talk. Just hopefully they play better football.
They show blitz. They come with it, and pass sails over the head of Tommy Boyd. Pressure came from the outside.
I'll tell you what. I don't think Garbarino was expecting that ball. If he would have got his eyes up, he'd have been off to the house, because he was right there. That ball sailed right by him.
That was Damari Malone for Dakota, the sophomore linebacker that brought the pressure. That
Chieftains really executed nice early on, had some nice play calls, and it just really kind of sputtered since.
Malone, just a sophomore, getting some action on the varsity roster. Malone comes again. It's bottled up this time. They're going to throw deep, some contact in the secondary, and they're going to get the call. Spitzbarth, the intended wide receiver, on the outside there for the Chieftains.
Yeah, he held up his progress, which you can't do that. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty.
So you don't think the Lions can bite some kneecaps this year?
No.
Okay.
You got to at least try to put this in perspective. And I don't know, maybe it's the curse of the coach in me. Even if you win 6 games, you've doubled your win total. That's a heck of a season. I don't know, especially in the NFC where you got the Cowboys. Everyone's excited about the Eagles. You got the Rams. You got the 49ers. You got some really good teams. I don't know how you can compete with that. This defense, even in like the Falcons game, watched Atlanta go right down the field, and they're considered one of the worst teams.
Yeah, a lot of question marks on the defensive side of the ball, especially I think in the secondary and at the linebacker position. And if you are a fan of the Hard Knocks program, I think the linebacker position is the biggest question mark.
Yeah, and I think 6-7 wins is a great season for them, and just that they play competitive football, those are huge, huge strides. I like what they're doing, but it's going to take some time.
Malone
nice job again.
Steps up in the pocket. It's going to get brought down via the horse collar.
Horse collar, yeah.
That's going to be the call against Damari Malone.
Yep.
That's a player safety issue right there, bringing somebody down via that horse collar. is just asking for a knee injury. Knee or
Yeah, that's
ankle.
how you blow them out right there. That's and that's why that rule was made. And I like that rule. You know, put your shoulder in the hip. I know, you know, that's how Dakota teaches it. You tackle that near side hip, and that was a little bit above the hip.
So once again, the Chieftains knocking on the door in the red zone now at the 16-yard line. Boy, this would give this Utica team a big boost if they're able to get on the scoreboard prior to the halftime break.
Oh, I think that would do wonders for them, just getting some momentum going and, you know, stop at 28-0 and just kind of give them something to build on the second half. Dakota will get the ball to start the second half, but I think just getting some points on the board is just going to do just wonders for their psyche.
Rogers to the left of quarterback Jack Malone. Malone claps his hands, gives off to Rogers, goes around the right-hand side. He took a big lick once again. Looked like Lorenzo Alfred was in there. Pickup of a couple. Clock continues to tick down. 90 seconds now remaining in the first half. Utica taking their time, and really, why not? They know they have no timeouts remaining, and they don't want to give Dakota the football back if they're able to stall out this Chieftain squad.
Yeah, and at the 13-yard line, a minute and a half is forever. So
Sure.
take your time. Don't give them much time to try to fire the ball down the field and get something back. Try to get the ball in the end zone with just under maybe 20 seconds left. Dakota safeties, though, are dropping a little deeper.
Anticipating a pass, and that's what they will get. Malone floats one up, and just out of the reach of Willie.
Lowest pass intended for number 4, Willie.
They'll bring up a third down and 7. Utica could pick up another first down. The line to gain is the 6-yard line.
Yeah, they keep attacking Jacob Leha. You might want to try another strategy. That has not worked out very well for you tonight.
It's been excellent in coverage, has the pick 6 on the very first play from
He's got more
scrimmage here
points than
tonight.
Utica does.
So 3rd down and 7. Pretty much open up the playbook here, and Chieftains will spread it out.
Try to drag somebody across the middle here if you can or something. Open up the middle of the field.
Malone.
Anthony Coleman getting his hands on that ball.
Malone dropping sidearm that time. And
Almost looked Stafford-esque there.
yeah, he tried to fit one in, didn't he? And we got a Dakota player down.
That looks like Leha. It's hard to see what happened on that
Yep,
play.
Jacob Leah, the Cougar that is down.
Well, he is walking on it, which is a good sign. So
Now he dropped his mouth guard.
I think that's 51. I know my eyesight isn't very good. I don't think that's. Is that a 2 or a 1? I mean, it looks like him from here.
It's Leah.
Okay. Well, the fact that he's walking off is good. You got, 51 seconds. You got the halftime too, so you got a little extra time to rest.
So the Chieftains will go for it here on 4th down.
Yeah, I think you got to. I mean, even a field goal really isn't.
Does you no good, besides maybe a little bit of morale boost. Oh, too many men in motion. Yep, referees, yeah, they got it.
That was an easy one. You got to throw it, though, or now they're just going to decline the penalty.
Yep. It'll be a turnover on downs.
It's like Michael Patiglio finished the sack off. Coleman and a couple others got in there to disrupt it, but Patiglio finished the sack off.
So Conley and Taylor, 5 and 6, both went in motion there, or were at least both moving. Obviously, you can't have 2 men in motion at the same time, so a legal procedure penalty against the Chieftains. That'll be declined. The result of the play will be the quarterback sack. So another turnover on downs for the Chieftains.
Yeah, and not only that, the sack puts Dakota closer to the other side of the end zone. So if they just thrown it away, so you got to at least try to give your team a chance. And I know there was a lot of pressure, but you got to get rid of that football. And I'm sure that's what the coaches are discussing with the quarterback over there on the other side. But, right now, this has just been all Dakota Cougars.
Dakota with just 1 timeout. Hamby's going to look to air it out. He's going to float a short screen pass. Got blown up there.
Yeah, number 40.
Julian Kilberg.
Nice play reading the screen.
And Cougars going to let that clock tick down.
Yeah, I think Coach Bauer is content with being out here 28-0. You don't want anything to happen where someone can get hurt. You know, be content, go up 28-0. Try to get a score maybe to start the second half when the clock starts running. And then you can start playing some guys and keeping everybody healthy for your MAC Red opener.
Fireworks on the very first play from scrimmage, a pick 6. And all Cougars since they lead it 28-0. Jeff, your thoughts on the first half of play?
Yeah, I mean, you know, except for the opening drive, after that it was just all Dakota Cougars, and you know, they're winning the battle up front. That's been the name of the game so far. So Utica's going to need to really go to almost playing C now to try to get back in this game, because it's going to be rough.
Two teams will talk things over. In the meantime, we'll take a quick break here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. But when we come back, the second half will play.
This is a message to raise awareness of the dangers of youth use of alcohol and other drugs. These are some facts about youth prescription opioid medication misuse from the National Institute on Drug Abuse. Teen abuse of prescription opioid medications has declined steadily over past years. However, young adults 18 to 24 are the largest group abusing prescription medication, including opioids, medications prescribed for ADHD, and anti-anxiety medication. Those that abuse prescription opioids are at greater risk of becoming addicted, of negative life and health consequences, of overdose, and death. Prescription opioids are chemically related to heroin. Nearly 80% of people addicted to heroin started first by abusing opioid medications. Teens that misuse prescription medication get it from their friends, from unsecured medication at their home, or from the home of a relative. Lock up, properly dispose, and never share medication. For more information on the abuse of opioid medication, visit drugabuse.gov.
One by one, and 2 by 2, everybody on the floor, let me show you how we do. Let's go, get the love and you make me love, so run it up one time, run it back once more. Run, 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 everybody move, run, let me see you move, run, rock it to the groove, shake it to the moon, become the salsa. Everybody in the club, give me a run, run, you ready to move, say it, yeah. One time for your mind, say it, yeah, yeah. I'm ready for it, I'm gonna show you what you want to do, I'ma show you how to move. Come, Mr. DJ, someone do it, Mr. DJ, won't you turn the music up? I'll make your hundred and go and sing so hard. Mr. DJ, won't you turn the music up? Come, Mr. DJ, someone do it, Mr. DJ, won't you turn the music up? I'll make your hundred and go and sing so hard. Mr. DJ, won't you turn the music up? Okay, everybody get down if you feel me. Put your hand up to the ceiling. Everybody get down if you feel me. Come and put your hand up to the ceiling. Mr. DJ, someone do it, Mr. DJ, won't you turn the music up? I'll make your hundred and go and sing so hard. Mr. DJ, won't you turn the music up? Come, Mr. DJ, someone do it, Mr. DJ, won't you turn the music up? I'll make your hundred and go and sing so hard. Mr. DJ, won't you turn the music up?
Hey, for the Dakota Varsity dance team. Great job.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in a village near the forest. The little girl wore a red riding cloak, so everyone in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. What happens when the innocent are perceived as guilty and the guilty are perceived as innocent? Unbeknownst to the grandmother, evil was lurking near her front door, ready to pounce. But sometimes in life, things aren't always what they seem. Sometimes we doubt the trustworthy, and we trust those we should doubt. It was her worst enemy. A hungry, vicious creep. The one who wanted to harm her the most. Red.
Let's clear the smoke about marijuana. Marijuana and teens, what research tells us.
Did you know that marijuana can negatively affect a teen's ability to learn?
A teen who uses is 4 times more likely to report D grades.
A teen that uses marijuana is 2 times more likely to drop out of school.
Marijuana is not safe.
Marijuana is not safe for our kids. Mobilizing Michigan, protecting our kids from marijuana.
Welcome back to Dakota High School. Nearly set to go. Second half of play. Cougars in front of the Utica Chieftains, 28-0 your score. Defensive touchdown via a pick 6 to open up, and then the Dakota offense started flexing their muscles. 2 can-be touchdown passes and a rushing touchdown by Austin Tukowski. The scoring in the ballgame for the Cougars as they lead it 28-0, and they will have the opening possession of this second half. All Cougars all the time in the first half there, Jeff.
Yeah, and, I think the one thing that everyone's going to need to see in the beginning of the second half is Jacob Leha. How healthy is he? Is he going to come out and play?
Staying on his feet.
Kasevic.
All the way down to the Chieftain 25. What a kick return.
So you just start right off, a big kickoff, he drops it, and then takes it down the sidelines, 75 yards. So not the way the Chieftains want to start the second half, as the Cougars now take over at the Chieftain 24 on a pretty short field.
One would have to think every bounce had to go the way of the Chieftains here in the second half, and that's a big blow to start things off. A big-time kick return gives Cougars terrific field position at the Chieftain 24-yard line. Wow.
Yeah, and if you score here, it's 35-0. The clock starts ticking.
Yep, and will not stop unless there is a timeout. Hamby in the shotgun, the lone setback. Tukowski, he's going to get it. He's going to explore the right side, lowers the shoulders, knocks over a defender, and gets a pickup of 3 yards.
Number 44.
Just coming out in that second half, just establishing that line of scrimmage like the Cougars had done in the previous half. Just trying to get everyone going downhill, like that play call to start the half.
The
3 touchdown passes for Ethan Hamby. We'll see if he gets a fourth one here. 2 runs right at the bat.
Kasevic close to the first down marker, but he will be a few yards short.
Joe has had a pretty productive evening so far. Kick returns, running the football.
Hamby with 2 touchdowns in this game, now 3 on the season. Hamby barks out the call, and we'll look back. Kasevic once again, initial pressure coming.
Yeah, nice job on the outside there.
Via Julian Kilberg of Utica. And decision time now for the Cougars. They're going to leave the offense out on the field. Going to ask the big guys up front to make some room in order for them to pick up these 2 yards.
That's going to bring up 4th down for the Cougars and a couple to go.
Really nothing flashy tonight out of Dakota, and why would you open up the playbook in week 2 when you know MAC Red play begins next week? Pick up the first down.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, Fred, you just try to get conservative, don't get anybody hurt, and get ready for the Tars.
Boy, is that going to be just a absolute grudge match next week.
Coach Giannone going up against, and there's a lot of story angles to go around for sure, and people are going to have a field day with that. Well, this kid makes some great moves.
Gets the edge in the pay dirt. Touchdown, Cougars.
Fantastic blocking by the receivers. Fantastic blocking downfield. And Dakota has made this look easy.
14 yards on the run.
Right, second rushing touchdown today, right?
For the Cougars, yep. His first.
Yeah.
Tukowski had the other one.
Tukowski had the first one, and then Kasevic's got this one, and then 2 touchdown passes along with the defensive pick.
Dominic Celestini remains perfect on the season. This can be a big extra point, as we now will have that running clock. 35-point advantage results in a running clock on the next whistle. So we mentioned Dakota going back on the road. Our game next week right here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television will be Eisenhower against Chippewa Valley.
And then the following week, I believe it is Dakota Stevenson, I believe. And that's, they got that game circled. I mean, obviously not looking ahead, but, that's a game they want to. I think everyone circled Stevenson this year, knowing all those guys they lost. They want to kind of return the favor for some of the beatings they got last year. You would think Chippewa's got that game circled because Stevenson put some yards up on Big Red. So, the Titans, young quarterback, kind of almost a whole new roster change.
Yep.
And, a lot of people still say that the MAC Red kind of goes through more of Romeo this year, but I think, last year the Big Reds and the Cougars at 3-2 could have easily have won it. I mean, all those games are so dang close. Just the littlest mistake is just crucial.
Romeo beat Stevenson in the regular season last year 7-0 as they co-shared the MAC Red title with that 4-1 record.
Right, and then Dakota beat Romeo
in the
and
playoffs.
Then just craziness.
It just goes to show how loaded this conference is, and there are no off days. You cannot blink in conference play or you will lose. Kickoff that sails short of the goal line, going to be returnable for Utica up to the 25. Ball loose,
and
they're going to rule him down. It was tailback Jaden Rogers on the kick return. So the ball would be put into play from the 23-yard line, and there you will have the Chieftains with that running clock as it ticks under 9 minutes now in the third quarter.
The Chieftains will start their drive 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
Well, things will not get any easier for this Utica team. We mentioned they will take on Grosse Pointe South at home next week. Student section and cheerleaders getting their countdown as they had to count all the way up to 35. Didn't see any push-ups. That's often the case. Somebody usually is doing push-ups as they count. But
maybe before, because they did so many, they just said, all right, we got to come up with a different exercise here. Let's do some jumping jacks. Let's do something easy.
Yeah.
Number 44, Austin.
A little easier calisthenic.
Some of those weeks where you're doing 49 push-ups. No thanks.
Loss of a couple on the play. That's going to be a 2nd and 12.
Well,
for the Chieftains.
And Jaden Rogers, the bell cow tailback for the Chieftains, is going to check out.
Do not see Jacob Leha out to start the second half. Now, we don't know if that's just precautionary, but he is not out on defense to start the second half. So I will start scanning the sidelines. He is a tall, good-sized kid, so he is not hard to find.
Malone
over the middle there, uses the speed.
Finds Willie. Willie makes the first man miss. Unable to spin out of that second tackle, but a big gainer up to the 46-yard line. Pick up 24.
Brought down by number 24, Damari Malone.
And this Chieftains squad at times throughout this football game has shown some flashes of putting something together. They've had drives that have gone down deep into Cougar territory, but they have stalled out.
Yeah, when the Dakota defense has had to, it has stiffened up and has made life tough on the Chieftains. But from 20 to 20, the Chieftains have had a little bit of success moving the ball tonight on a couple of drives.
They got that senior quarterback in the form of Malone. He throws this one into tight coverage, and now we're going to get a flag comes out. He was looking for Tommy Boyd the second.
Looked like a pretty good coverage there, but they're going to call pass interference. I don't know if that's a 35-0 call. Hard to see, though. Again, the game moves so fast now at the high school level, especially at the varsity level, that those bang-bang plays are tough to see. You really got to kind of make a judgment call. I'm scanning the sidelines, trying to find 21. Oh, there he is. He's got his jersey off, though. He's in street clothes. Oh, that's not 21. I think I got to start eating more carrots.
I got binoculars up here, Jeff. I'm making a scan down the line too, and I don't see a 21
The
anywhere.
good news is I don't see anyone on crutches, but I know, we don't know if he got, taken to be looked at. He did walk off on his own power. There he is right there on the 50.
Yep, helmet off.
Helmet off, shoulder
Pads
pads
still on.
Moving all right, so probably more of a precautionary measure. You don't want to lose him game 2 in a 28-0 game. Oh, nice play defensively.
QB keeper.
Kuchowski.
And now a late penalty flag comes in. Maybe perhaps excessive celebration, or was there some extracurriculars
Michael
away?
Patiglio was tied up with someone over there. In the previous last play, they kind of rolled at it, and he got thrown to the ground. So I don't know if this is going to be after the play, but it's getting a little chippy over there on the left side of the defense. And I will tell you this. I know Michael personally.
They're going to pick the flag up.
This is not a guy you want to anger. So, I know things get chippy a little bit. Utica not having a great night. Coach Bauer might take him out there. It looks like they're bringing someone in just to kind of have him cool off a little bit. This is something you don't want to lose him for a game coming up, especially against Anchor Bay next week. But
Bo Wheeler
Michael is not a
checking in.
guy you want to raise his ire. I can tell you that much, because he is a heck of a football player.
They did pick up the flag, so no harm, no foul. Brings up a 2nd down and 10. The two teams will scrimmage from the 39-yard line. Clock continues to roll down. 35-0 our score. Cougars in front. Jumped out to that early 28-0 lead at the halftime break. They've scored the lone touchdown here in the 3rd quarter. Malone, once again, 5-receiver spread look. Will roll out to his left. Feels the pressure, able to avoid it. And now will take quite the shot. 3 Cougars in on the tackle.
I will tell you this, 54 on the tackle. Is that Wheeler?
Sure is.
I've been very impressed with the open field tackling tonight, the Cougars. A lot of very good open field tackling. This Utica team is pretty quick. They do move, and the tackle, that speed and space, with the success they've had, just really shows you how much they work on it. Most teams you could get a big gain off of that. Utica's gotten very little off of that on Dakota tonight.
Yeah, terrific pursuits. This is a very athletic defensive line for Dakota.
Their 2 middle linebackers and their back 5 are just athletic. This is all 11 speed everywhere.
3 down linemen this time for the Cougars.
Yeah, I'm looking more of like a 3-3-5 look.
And looking like they're going to send the blitz. Here they come. Malone escapes. And
here he comes.
Look out. Ball comes out from behind. It's popped out. Malone sacked. He goes down.
Yeah.
Fumble caused by Harper.
Yeah, Harper's been everywhere tonight. He popped him in the back, and Coleman got the fumble recovery. I don't know what everyone's standing around for. He got drilled in the back. And I don't know what the referees are talking for. I don't know what that means.
Ruling on the field is a forward pass. That'll bring up 4th.
They're going to call it an incomplete pass. Wow.
Coach Bauer don't like that one. He's going to just signal his play in, but because it's 35-0. But I guarantee you they're going to watch that back on film, and took away Anthony Coleman's fumble recovery. That was a great hit by Harper. He has been everywhere tonight.
Well, and it was clear from our vantage point that Harper was going for the football, and it sure looked like he punched that out from behind.
Could Malone have channeled his inner David Blau, even though he's no longer a Lion, which, watching Hard Knocks hurts my feelings.
The tuck roll, perhaps?
Watching maybe spend more time coaching his fast wife.
Yes, she's a track runner.
Yes,
that's
hurdler,
what you're.
Hurdler.
Yes, that's where you were going with that. She's a runner, folks. Cougars bringing pressure now once again on 4th down, and they back off out of it. Malone steps up in the pocket once again. He's going to get the pass off and separated from the football. I don't think this is going to go either one of 2 ways. It's either going to be an incomplete pass or a fumble. And it will be a fumble.
Got the football. Well, no fumble on the last play. Fumble on this play.
It'll be Damari Malone, the sophomore, with the fumble recovery.
Just nice drive down the field for Utica. Make a nice pass just to cough it up. Those things have just killed them all night. Maybe against some of the teams in the MAC white, it doesn't hurt you as much. But when you play a caliber team in the red, you can't make these mistakes because they're just going to make you pay. And now if you look out into the field, Looks like the first offense is still out there.
Yep, sure is. So that is now the second turnover of this ball game, and it gives the Cougar defense 5 on the season. Plenty of time for Hamby to air this ball out, and instead he'll take off for the first down and more. Across the 40, up to the 45. Crosses midfield, the quarterback still got it, and he'll finally get ushered out of bounds. Oh boy, what a pickup there.
Yeah, nice, really shifty move for the big fellow, and then he decided he wasn't going to run the angle. Just get out of bounds, don't take the hit. You know, nice job of just getting out of bounds and staying upright, and live to fight other down. And again, you know, Utica kind of had him and let him go. Turns into a big play. It's kind of been the story of the night for the Chieftains.
38-yard gainer there by Hamby on the ground. And Cougars quickly get lined up. Hamby looking to go to the flats. He's got a man out there. That's Quest Williams. Makes the first defender miss. He shakes and bakes down to the 15-yard line.
Jerome Bettis over there. I just can't imagine. I mean, he is just so big and strong and move. When he gets moving north and south, there's no, I mean, just laws of physics. You just can't tackle him. You try to pull a shoe off or something, may have to go out for a play. It's about the only chance you got.
It's a little bit of thunder and lightning in this Cougar backfield. A spoil of riches here.
Well, you got Kasevic and Tchaikovsky, and then you give the ball to Quest Williams, and I mean, there's just so many. Plus, not only that, you got the 3 receivers to throw to. I mean, you just got so many weapons and options.
Hamby across the middle to Williams. Pickup of 9. Clock continues to tick down. Under 20 seconds now remaining in the third quarter.
And for the most part, Ethan's just been able to sit back in that pocket.
Yeah, he's had plenty of time.
Yeah, a couple times he had to scramble. He's turned into big yards.
And honestly, I can't think of one incompletion he's thrown in this ball game. He may have one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, he's been outstanding. The Cougar offense has been outstanding. The Cougar defense has been outstanding. Special teams play has been very good. Like, this has been a complete dominating game. You know, the biggest thing is, you know, hopefully, you know, Jacob Leha is good to go for next week. We're assuming that he's just out, obviously, for cautionary reasons. Coming up against, you start Red Division play next week, but we'll start to see when the coaches start subbing in some of these guys, because you figure at some point in time they're going to get some playing time tonight at 35-0 with a running clock. And maybe put another one here on the board where you got 2 scores. If somehow they come and get 2 scores, you should start putting in some guys on defense and offense.
Yeah, an opportunity to get some guys some varsity action as you get prepared next week for the start of MAC Red play.
You know, they're just coming off of a summer, all summer in the weight room, you know, sweating through the month of August to double sessions, and you want to get some of those kids if you can get them some early playing time, it's big.
Yeah, as a reward. Reward those guys for putting in the 2-a-days and lining up against the number ones. And
you come out every day trying to tackle Quest Williams and guarding Owen Colpart and trying to tackle Hamby and Kasevic, and then you line up and you go against that defense, and that's not a day at the office. I don't want it. Do you?
No, and these guys volunteer to do it.
Right.
They show up every day
and smile.
Right. Hamby looking to go through the air. Oh, in and out of the hands, and that's the first miscue, perhaps.
Yeah, just a little underthrown. He can get enough on that if he wanted to. He was wide open. A little rub route. He kind of ran underneath all the 2 receivers. Just didn't finish the catch, and there was nothing in front of him. I think that was 16.
That brings up 3rd down.
Colin Sneed, number 15.
15, all right.
Those numbers kind of get jammed
Remember,
up.
I'm blind as bad up here, folks, so that's why this man's got the binoculars. I might have to bring my rangefinder next week that's got the little magnifier. I might be
500-yard
having to
distance.
go the one eye through the rangefinder just to see who these numbers are.
And play action
look at this
fake.
throw. Oh,
West
my.
Williams fitting one through.
Ethan Hamby just threw a dime.
Thread the needle.
He was on Quest Williams' back, and he just put that about the only place that it had to be, and it was right there for a touchdown. What a throw by Ethan Hamby. Great catch by Quest Williams. 42-0 Dakota.
Hamby's 3rd touchdown throw of the evening. Dominic Celestini in to add the extra point. Owen Mitchell, the holder. Got to give the holders some love, right?
Oh, absolutely. Owen Mitchell, that's my guy right there. Tchaikovsky, the long snapper, Mr. Everything.
Kick is right through the uprights. 11:09 now remaining in regulation. All Cougars all the time. 42-0 your score here. 5 straight touchdown drives for Dakota after they were forced to punt on their opening offensive possession of this game.
Yeah, that was about the only thing that's gone wrong for them tonight. Because after that series, it was been gravy. You know, opening possession, a kickoff, pick 6, 2 plays in.
Yep.
I mean,
and the Chieftains really dug themselves a large hole that they haven't been able to climb out of. This is a Chieftain team, though. You kind of get the sense that they perhaps will make some noise in MAC White play. We mentioned they fell 1 game short of MAC White champion Anchor Bay a season ago. The Tars make that move up to the MAC Red.
and knowing Mike Giannone, that's where they want to be. They don't want to play in the white. They want to be in the red. But yeah, Anchor Bay, when they went back down for those two years, just tore the white up. Now Grosse Pointe South has to go back down and do it. I'll tell you what, Lakeview can make some noise in that division. I think Roseville can too. So I don't think it's a gimme.
If you're missing your keys, I have a set with a
Willie.
Catch there on the run. Oh boy, he's really struggling. Oh, he came out of that. Look at this.
Got a Chieftain player down.
He's holding his knee or he's holding something. Yeah, that's
And it's his right leg. Number 40. Julian Kilberg, running back, linebacker. He's made some plays defensively, and they're acting like perhaps it's just a cramp.
Get some water. And this is about the time of the game. It's been pretty hot today. You know, you're going to lose a lot of fluids out there. Very important throughout the game. A lot of these kids don't do it. You know, I've just seen it at all levels. Is they don't hydrate during the day before the game. Like
right, the days leading up to the football game.
Yeah, you got to be urinating like crazy before the game, and just getting all that water in you because you cramp up so easy, especially in that heat. It just really just drains you. Even with the sun going down, it's still hot. And I can tell you with Mr. Ogosh over at Chippewa, they perfected the mustard routine. She ran one time to the concession stand, grabbed a bottle of mustard, and just squirted it, and instant cramp went away. It was pretty, not the best tasting remedy, unless you like mustard, like I do, but it works.
Now, does like a honey Dijon mustard work as good as just straight up yellow mustard?
Go like
it's got to be
straight
yellow.
French.
Okay.
I gotta get something.
No Grey Poupon.
No Grey Poupon, no, unless you're Wayne and Garth.
I'm sure that reference is lost on many.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I try to tell some of those jokes in school and quickly show my age, and we'll drop that topic now.
So the clock does stop, 2 ticks under the 11-minute mark, and now we will roll on. 42-0 our score.
Just a little heads up to our new scoreboard operator. The quarters are now correct.
Nice job. Just needed a little bit of guidance. And another late flag comes in from the backfield. Defensive backfield.
Officials might have to take some be looked at for some rotator cuff surgery with all these throwing of flags tonight.
We have had quite a few flags.
Yeah.
Cleaver on the carry.
So Jeff,
hopefully they warmed up before the game.
Yeah, working out those shoulder muscles, right?
Penalty against Chieftains.
So the cliche in football has always been you make your biggest strides from week 1 to week 2, right? You iron everything out that you did wrong in week 1 and week 2. Is that a safe cliche?
Yeah, I think so. I think with some of those games though, where you see when you're playing two powerhouses, obviously you know, you're going to be a little rusty week one. You had the scrimmage, obviously, beforehand. But, you know, it's obviously by the time you get into division play is when you want all those kinks worked out. And really, you want to take those first 2 weeks and use those first 2 weeks to get better. And for some schools, you saw a lot of great matchups week one.
Yes.
I mean, West Bloomfield, Stevenson, Cass Tech A&T, Chippewa Catholic Central, Dakota Brother. I mean, it was all over the state. And those are big-time playoff games week one. And then week two, you kind of really see where these teams are at because it's kind of hard when, you know, one team's going to lose.
Well, and credit big time to MHSAA for changing the playoff rules. It used to be you had to have 6 wins to automatically qualify for the playoffs. That has changed completely now, and you get playoff points. They're rewarding teams for scheduling tough opponents, and that's why you're seeing those matchups in week one.
And I remember, you know, the dinosaur days of I remember seeing teams go 8-1 and 9-0 and not make it. Imagine that. Imagine going undefeated and not making the playoffs.
Unheard of.
Oh. So, you know, definitely as you know, you kind of like the direction right now where the MHSA is going. And you know, they're trying to kind of fix and reward teams not only for scheduling, but also teams that do get the wins to get in too. And it makes the playoffs a lot more fun. And, you know, you had the COVID year where everyone made it. So, you know, I think they're doing some great things at the MHSA, and they're going to continue to make it better.
Good solid run by Jeffrey Cleaver, the junior.
Yeah, a lot of 2s and 3s in right now. Get a chance to play. Get a chance to let mom and dad watch them in live game action. You know, a lot of people can't come to practice, so this is a great time to see them. A lot of guys out there will try to get a lot of names to you, but, you know, the clock's going to end. This is going to go pretty quick now, especially with it being 42-0. The biggest thing you want now is just everyone to stay healthy. You know, you don't want to see any major injuries.
So we talk about some of those big games in week one, but it also, the state powerhouses were struggling to actually find teams that would be willing to play them.
Right.
Because teams did not want to get penalized for playing powerhouses and suffering an automatic loss. Right. And now you get rewarded for playing teams like Brother Rice, Catholic Central, De La Salle, the Dakotas of the world. So you're going to have better matchups, and you're going to have teams that are willing to make those games happen.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to create those dream matchups. You know, tomorrow night, De La Salle, Muskegon, you know, story programs. I mean, there's teams all over the state now are going to, you know, schedule these games, and it doesn't hurt you. So why not play those games? Why not see where you stack up against those teams early? You know, and you know, Dakota going up against Brother Rice. Yeah, see where you stack up against one of the best offenses in the state, and they played very well. And you know, obviously, you don't want to read your own press clippings either. You want to be able to stay the course and be able to continue to get better and improve and never be happy where you're at until you're done with game 14. You know, that's kind of the goal for everybody.
And obviously, you don't like taking away home games Friday night under the lights. You know, you only get so many of these games at home, but some of these neutral sites that they're playing at, it's got to be the coolest experience in the world for these kids. You had games at Wayne State. You had games at Lawrence Tech. You had games at Michigan Stadium, the Big House. How cool of an experience is that?
And I think maybe in the beginning when this all started, a lot of people didn't like the travel. I think that people have gotten accustomed to it and really enjoy going to those venues. It's a cool place. You can be in those venues and see what it's like to play at Michigan Stadium and see it play at Wayne State, where a lot of kids from these schools go to Wayne State. So, you know the Prep Kickoff Classic, which has now been going on for years. And then, of course, you know, Lawrence Tech now starting to get into it. But, you know, the Battle of the Big House, I think, has gone now the 3rd or 4th year.
Yeah, Clarkston hosting that.
Yeah,
yep.
You know, and maybe you wonder if other schools follow suit. Maybe, you know, Michigan State starts to get into it. Maybe try to take teams from more of that central part of the state. And you might see more of these high school teams playing these college venues and these big matchups.
Well, we're in such a unique situation here in the state of Michigan where you can get from the extreme east coast of the state to the extreme west coast of the state in less than 3 hours. So why wouldn't you schedule some of the powerhouses on the west side of the state?
Yeah, you know, Coach Giannoni, 1 year, Dakota played Muskegon in a home-and-home, went to the west side of the state. I believe they did it with Rockford
yep.
You know, so not a lot of teams around here have done that, though. You know, I'll tell you what, you know, I've got some friends who coach out west, and I've seen out there the facilities. Like, I mean, it's amazing, and just a chance to get out there and see that, and it's a different mentality out there. Just to be able to experience that, I think is great for the east side of the state, as well as the west side of the state, to kind of flavor the east side as well. You know, Jenison High School just built a $42 million indoor practice facility.
Yeah, Johnson Wildcat.
Right, so when's that going to follow suit? Remember when the first team started getting turf?
Yep,
Everyone,
field turf.
If you got
yep.
grass now, you're a dinosaur. And you're
Yep.
probably a genius because everyone's slow.
Yeah.
Right? So now, how long is it going to take now for all these big high schools to start getting indoor practice facilities, and you can get spring ball and stuff, and you can do those things indoor. Not only that, not just your football teams, your baseball teams, your
Sure.
softball teams, when it's bad weather outside.
Year round.
You know, when you see a lot of teams around here start turfing all their football or softball and baseball diamonds, so in the cold of April, instead of these games getting canceled, you can play them. A lot of what ifs.
And Utica will take a timeout at the very stern urging of the coaching staff that is directly next to us in the press box. Let me tell you, folks, my broadcast partner, Jeff Vitale, up here, he nearly jumped out the window. I don't know if he thought perhaps maybe the press box was shaking or what, but you got a little nervous
I don't
up
know.
here.
I almost bailed here. I almost had the Jordan hang time on that. I'm not going to lie.
There was a very loud bang up
Yeah,
here.
I thought we were under attack for a second here. The Redcoats are coming.
Don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes, right?
Well, unfortunately, the whites of the eyes tonight have been the blue jerseys because it's just been a barrage. And, you know, give some credit to this second group of offense here from Utica. Really put a nice drive together right now, moving the chains, getting a lot of positive yards. There's a counter tray.
Tyler
Nice cut.
Perazic into the ball game at the quarterback position, and he was the architect of that game-winning drive last week against Rochester. So Chieftains know they got a good one waiting in the wings, the junior signal caller at quarterback.
That was Jeffrey Cleaver on the carry. How many times do you think you've ever been asked in school if he knows the Beaver?
Well, I'm sure quite a bit.
And
Another very old
I'm sure
reference.
a lot of people have no idea what I'm talking about.
Beaver Cleaver.
Wally and
Leave it to Jeff Vitale to come up with a Beaver, Leave It to Beaver reference.
at least it was appropriate.
38-yard
Inside
line.
zone. Oh, nice cut.
Jeffrey Cleaver again getting the run at the tailback position. Under 4 minutes now remaining in regulation. Cougars
Nice blocking up front by that Utica line.
Brought down by number 33.
gonna have to feel pretty good about themselves after tonight's ball game. Gonna move to 2-0. A really impressive week 1 victory over Brother Rice, and took care of business here against the Chieftains in a potentially trap game situation. I don't want to refer to it quite as a trap game in the first half, but now that the game's out of reach, I will refer to it as a trap game. As you can't help, these are high school kids, you can't help but look ahead to week 2 and that matchup against Anchor Bay on the road next week.
Well, and just not only that, you know, who's coaching at Anchor Bay? I mean, this is the guy who kind of came over and took the program to up to the level that it's been
Sure.
at, and now everyone's just kind of kept the ship going. But, you know, I mean, I'm sure that angle is going to be beaten into the ground. But, you know, it's a big game. But it's not only big, too, because it gets serious, because now you start division play, and that's where things really get serious. So you're obviously very happy for going 2-0. You
Right.
beat Brother Rice. You beat a state powerhouse Catholic school team. Then you knock out, you win a game easily that you were supposed to, sometimes which is very difficult to do, like you said, trap game. And now it's time to really focus and explain to them how serious. And again, with a lot of the returning players they have here, they know that it's really time to start getting serious. A little extra time in the film room, a little time on huddle watching film, scout film, and a little extra time at practice, just get some extra reps in. All those things are going to help if you want to win this division.
Not only that, but you're going on the road, and this is a team that's played a neutral site game, and they played a home game now. So their first true real road test will be up the road, up 94 against Anchor Bay.
And it's now a
next
turf
week.
field. They were one of the last few fields, along with Romeo, who had grass for the longest time. And now it's a turf field. Very beautiful facility now at Anchor Bay. Romeo as well, gorgeous facility. I'm even trying to think. Besides, like, I don't even think Roosevelt's turfed either. Does anyone have grass anymore?
Probably not. It's probably more costly to maintain a grass field.
Right.
get that initial cost of getting the field turf out there. And
the only tough part of the field turf is obviously when it gets hot, you can see the heat rising from it, and you see those heat waves, and it's tough. Nice ball.
Kind of just floated out there. Long pass, picks up 9. Hauled in by Jacob Roll.
Oh, that's why they're talking about the backups too. They don't throw with the same velocity the starter does. So we put a nice ball in the money there, nice catch. Tried to go for the strip there. Receiver did a nice job of holding on to the football. That could have been a tough fumble.
Backbreaker for this Chieftain offense, who's looking to put up some points here.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice the second unit here for them, they can get in the end zone. Obviously, the second defense for Dakota doesn't want to let them in. They want to preserve the shutout here.
Prozic takes the shotgun snap, turns
nice.
Hands off. Big collision.
45 was the first one in, and I've been so great on these numbers. Maybe 9?
Lenkevich, number 45.
45. J.B. Lenkevich.
Rosales, number 9.
Third down for the Chieftains.
A couple guys in there in that tackle. Nice job to close that hole in a hurry. You got some depth on this Dakota defense. You got a lot of playmakers on offense. You got just a big, nasty, physical offensive line. A quarterback who can make every throw. And this team's going to make some noise and turn some heads. And when you're lining up against the Cougars, you better be ready to play. If you don't bring your A game, you're going to get stumped.
Look at the pressure and push there
Nice job.
by that defensive line. Bottles up the ball carrier in the backfield. 40 seconds now remaining in the fourth quarter. That'll bring up a 4th and short, 4th and 3.
We're just gonna have to call that a pack of Cougars, just because there's too many numbers in there to read.
So Dakota moves to 2-0. Utica drops to 1-1. And they'll throw for the first
nice
down,
ball.
and they're going to pick it up.
Oh!
Huge collision.
31 and 38.
Landon Drew making the catch, and that will do it. Dakota cruising to a Week 2 victory. Your final score, 42-0. 5 offensive touchdowns and a pick 6 to open up play. That really set the tone for the Cougars here tonight, and they put it in cruise control. Final score 42-0. Jeff, your thoughts as we can kind of now turn the page to conference play. This Cougar team looks really good.
Yeah, first 2 games, I think Coach Bauer's got to be happy with this team, but now it's time to get serious and focus as division play starts. And, obviously being so close last year, 4 teams separated within a game of each other. You want to get off to a good start. You want to get that first one, but Anchor Bay's saying the same thing over there. So there's going to be a lot of strategy, a lot of practice, a lot of film watching going on over the next couple days as they get ready for a week of practice. The school gets started too here. So lots of things happening next week. And of course, next Friday night, the Cougars travel to Anchor Bay.
And we will be at Chippewa Valley as our other district school will take on the Eisenhower Eagles. That one should be a very good ball game.
Yeah, much improved Eisenhower squad had a very impressive Week 1 win against Lake Orion. Expecting them to have a little easier time tonight, but they beat a good Dragons team on the road. I think it was on the road.
Yep, Ford's at Eisenhower. Chippewa Valley, as we mentioned throughout tonight's broadcast, taking on Lance Cruz. So both of those teams should be hungry. Chippewa Valley wants to remain in the driver's seat, and Ike really wants to wash the taste out of their mouth from last season.
Oh, sure. They had one of the worst seasons in school history last year. Just injuries, and they're looking to make some noise and play some spoiler.
Well, for Jeff Vitale, I'm Brad Fetter saying goodnight one final time from Dakota High School as the Cougars take it. On our opening broadcast of the season, we'll have plenty of opportunities to see both of our district teams all season long. But once again, the final score, the Dakota Cougars 42, the Utica Chieftains nothing. Thank you so much for watching this Chippewa Valley Cable Television production. We will see you next time.